Hey guys, and welcome to In the Shadows of Dreams. I am Journey Ryan. I hope you guys have been doing your homework and writing down those dreams and making sure that you guys are getting all the details that you can, because the longer you stay awake, the more you forget. So make sure you guys are keeping them dream journals by you and having a good time. But this show wouldn't be this show without my wonderful co-host, Kate, intuitive empath. Hey, you doing?
Hello, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm great. We got Gemma. She's saying hi. Hey,
Hey,
Gemma.
Mama.
All right. We got a lot of stuff going on, and some new information to dive into. You were bringing forth, and I had seen this study before as well, and I'll go into it a little bit. But I'm going to let you talk about it because you've got some great information to bring to the table, guys. Pay attention to this. It's so interesting, and I love the detail of the information. So here we go.
Okay, so we are every week trying to bring you guys just new information on dreams and little information and tidbits about it. So I was looking into some research that's been done. Taylor says, "Hey, hello." Some research that's been done from 1956 all the way up to here, present day 2000s. And it indicates here a study of men, women, and then older people in general. That's males and female. So men were reported to have more aggressive like dreams, work-related dreams, things that they're trying to accomplish, whereas females seem to have more of the explicit dreams. They dream more familiar people, the indoors. They're able to give more specific detail because they're more emotionally attached to it. There's more vanity in females. Men have more of men in their dreams versus females in their dreams, where if you noticed, females tend to dream more about men than other females do. And then as we get older, they stay older as in 65 plus, they're oftentimes dreaming of deceased ones or things that have happened in the past. Gemma said that's so interesting. Yeah, yeah. So when you're getting older, it seems like there's so many correlations to things that you've missed, you lost, or you have hopes for, that they're almost dreaming more of what was and what is the potential in the afterlife versus what's going on here and now. So that's very interesting. How your almost desires seem to change and almost become more of those fond memories. The other interesting study here was on people who are blind. And now, when I say they're blind, these are people who are blind since birth. They are dreaming more in sense and sensations versus actually seeing things. So how we see like pictures and we can say things happen like a videotape, that's not the case for blind people. People who have gone blind over time as well, their senses also switch. So they're not seeing those vivid colors and things like we do. Instead, they're getting more of the feelings and all the other senses versus just sight, which is giving them actually a more enhanced feeling of a dream. You see, when we're dreaming of things, we're not oftentimes thinking of the things that we're feeling, right? We're sitting here looking at everything that we're seeing. So it's just a very different way of perspective. Gemma says, my blind son said the same. Yeah, see? Um, Emma says, wow, that is wild. Yeah, it's really interesting because there's so many different dynamics. And to even break it down in the way, doing these sleep studies and seeing how, we are driven in our dream life. When we think men, men are born and they're almost bred to be the workers, the leaders, right? So even the fact that they're correlating that in their dream world, so interesting. So let's see what Journey has to say about all this.
I have to agree with the part where you talk about the men's dreams. Of course, being a man myself, I've noticed that there are more masculine energies in my dreams than there are feminine energies, and it's about work. It's about what do I need to accomplish, my next goals. It always has something to do with what I need to get rid of versus what I'm doing. So I get all these different messages throughout my dreams. And I always know when I'm going to meet a new psychic too. That's the other thing. Is like I have those spiritual dreams too. And um, I was part of a sleep study as well for those who are intuitive psychic mediums compared to those who don't have those gifts or abilities developed. And because from what I know, everybody has the abilities. They just who's developed theirs further. And for those, there was six of us who were, intuitive, mediumship, things of that nature. What happens with us is that now, mind you, I ain't trying to win a race or nothing here, but my brain, they were watching our brain waves, and yes, the other two mediums' minds were, a little bit more active than they should have been when they were in their sleep state. My brain waves were going as fast as if somebody were awake working on a project. So
Wow.
when I'm awake, my brain is going twice as fast than when
If
I.
you lose.
So I am like constantly computing. My doctor asked me, how the hell aren't you tired all the time? Like your brain can't shut the hell up the whole time. I was like, the thing about it is, with that being said, and what you guys saw, that to me felt like calm. It felt peaceful. I didn't register my brain going 400 miles an hour because I was at that clear state of peace, but my connection to the universe never shuts off. So that part of my brain was constantly working. So I love this sleep study, and to see that those who are over 65 are dreaming about their past, they're reminiscing in their
Mm,
dreams. They're, what they could have done differently. So to me, it makes a lot of sense because even in their waking life, they're reflecting on the things that they've done in their life, what they were proud of, what they weren't proud of. So that makes a lot of sense because it's something that's focused on their waking life that they may not be outwardly saying, but they are thinking it. So
they
when they
can't
go
run
into.
from it in their dreams.
Right. So they can't run from it in their dreams because it's their subconscious letting them know all the things that they've processed throughout their lifetime. And we always hear when you hit 65, that's like the time where you're like, you never know if you're going to wake up tomorrow.
Mm,
That's for anybody. That goes for anybody. Nobody knows they're going to wake up tomorrow. You don't have to be a specific age, but it is programmed in us. And the thing about men dreaming masculine, there was a study. Now, this was a different study about a woman who would only do research with women about their emotions and support. And she was supporting women and she thought she was doing a good thing until a man asked her, he goes, well, where are your men's studies? She goes, well, I don't study men. He says, well, why not? And she said, why should I? He goes, well, you wanted to validate all the women's emotions and their feelings. The thing about doing a study on men is that men don't get their feelings validated because they are seen in a certain way, where women are validated in a different way by their emotions, their strengths, and things. If a man shows too much strength, he's a bigot. If he or an asshole or something to that nature. So she got a completely different perspective. So that masculine energy makes a lot of sense because men are put on this pedestal by their mothers, their daughters, their
mhm.
wives, that you cannot fail. You are not allowed to fail. You are not allowed to feel emotion. You are supposed to do that because, and I know women are about to say, yes, men are allowed to feel emotion. But if you look at the studies about who women are attracted to, they're not attracted to that emotional guy. They're attracted to the guy who holds in all of his emotions and he seems like he's got his shit together. If a man shows emotions, it shows a sign of weakness. Women are not attracted to that. They
Mhm.
want someone who's strong. That's just human nature. That's nature of all kinds. That's not just in humans. You see that in you know the wilderness, the in nature in general. You know, the dominant male will always dominate, and that's what women are attracted to. That dominance. We have an animal instinct. We still have those instincts. We may have developed into smarter, stronger, more intelligent beings, but we still have those original instincts that we were born with. If we reverted backwards, which I do believe from what I've seen in human history, we have reverted backwards a couple times.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. I love dream interpretation. I love studies. You know me, I'm all about them studies. I love to know how the human mind works. I'm also interested in my own ways and my own abilities too, and how my brain. I loved all of that research about how my brain was constantly connected, and in that same time, the dream that I had had in that moment was me talking with someone that I know had passed. So in that case, when I had that dream, it was my grandfather that I was speaking to in that dream, and all of a sudden, boom, my brain's going 4,000 miles an hour. And she was like, it was like you were awake. She goes, but then when you did wake up, your brain was going even faster.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
Brain
That was
doesn't
really
stop.
awesome. Nope. That's that Virgo, 4 planets in Virgo. Never stopping. Never stopping. All right. And Gemma said her dreams had changed since she entered menopause. Yes.
Yeah,
That hormonal balance.
definitely understand that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked how she had threw that input into. She said her son was saying that, he dreams in those sensations and things as well, and not in those visions. So, it's interesting how the brain works.
Mm-hmm. What was recognizable to the person. So if the person's blind, they're going to dream in sensations. And if someone who is deaf that has those dreams, they will be able to see, but they won't be able to hear anything.
Mhm.
I've seen it. Well, I haven't seen it personally. I've been around people who have had
Yeah.
that done. So it's crazy. And Emma said, I had no idea hormones played a role in my dreams. Very interesting. They play a role in everything that you do. It's about the
Yeah.
balance that's within you. Remember, your dreams come from your subconscious. Your subconscious is telling you everything. So, cannot wait to dive deep in these dreams and see what we've got going on here. Kay, are we ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's start off with our first dream here with Gemma.
All right, we have Miss Gemma. Gemma says, I dreamt I was laying in bed, then noticed the huge snake that was cut into two, but still alive and circling my bed. I couldn't move and seen Adam in the doorway with his back to me. I tried to call out to him, but I lost my voice and I couldn't scream. I woke up having a panic attack, and then after I dreamt I was back at school and sat at a table about to do an exam, but I kept telling the teachers I'm not a school kid and no idea why I'm sitting in exam, but no one was listening to me. I opened it up and there wasn't any questions, just blank paper, and I didn't have a pen to write with. That's all I remember. Okay, let me see the first part of that dream again with the snake. Okay. So you dreamt there was a snake that was cut in two, but still alive and circling your bed. So one thing is when we see snakes, oh, she said the bedding was emerald green, which seems significant. Gotcha, gotcha. When we're seeing snakes, snakes are oftentimes snakes, spiders, things like that, are oftentimes just anxiety driven fear-based dreams, if you will. So there may have been something that could be either here or there, or even now that you were afraid of or you were uncertain of, but there were some unrealistic fears in it, right? So you seen the snake cut in two. So your brain can rationally go, well, that doesn't make sense. The snake's not going to be split into two. But despite your brain being able to tell you that this is something that couldn't be possible, you were having such fear and such anxiety, such overwhelming, and you felt isolated and alone, right? That you woke up in that panic stricken state. Um, so I may say that there may be a lot of things that you may be needing to face. Snakes can oftentimes indicate somewhere where there may be deception, or there may be something we can't trust, or we're not finding full trust in a situation. I believe in that dream you said Adam was standing by the doorway, so was just out of your grasp. Uh, yeah, but I couldn't move, and I seen Adam in the doorway, and he was out, his back to me, right? So you were trying to get that sense of help, but you couldn't, right? That the what you were needing was just out of your reach. So there may be a need for you to be able to face your fears, or to stand up to some of the things that are kind of going on in your life, and to be able to find your voice. I've seen another part of your dream where you said you had lost your voice, very much so in present day. Okay, yeah, very much so in present day, and even with telling the teachers this, people aren't listening to you. People aren't hearing the things that you're having to say, and I feel like there's a bit of that anxiety that keeps you from saying certain things out of fear, right? Unrealistic fears, that someone may be going to leave you, or someone may not give you that attention that you may need. It seems like there's so much anxiety and fear that's in here, but it stems from a bit of trauma. Gemma says, I'm mostly on my bed rest from my operation, and it's frustrating to me, which might be coming through in it. Yeah, there's helplessness. Nothing you can do. Having that stress, having that anxiety, feeling hopeless, feeling frustrated, feeling unheard in the things that you're needing. Having this exam, right? You said you go to open an exam and there's absolutely nothing on it. Well, I think a part of that is you needing to fill up your own book, fill up your own chapters here as well. What is it that you're needing to figure out, or what is it that you're needing in your life to build up? Because one thing I know with you is every week thus far, so far, you've had these very anxious like dreams, very, very much so dreams where you're not being able to be yourself. Gemma said, I had a problem with nightmares and snakes as a child. Snakes are fear, honey. Snakes are fear. Um, and also feeling like you don't have the support, the trust. You don't have trust in things, so you don't have the support that you may need to get through it. So you may really want to take time to try to focus on, your oh, and you said the color emerald green stuck out to you. That's big. Heart chakra. What is it that you're not being able to, be compassionate in yourself with, be patient with yourself in? What are you putting pressure on? What is it that you're feeling unable or receptive in love in that area? I feel like there's a lot of almost emotional healing that you need to do, which again, there goes with that anxiety and even that solar plexus work, trying to find more power in yourself to be able to stand up for yourself, to be able to speak up, to be able to face some of these fears. This fears followed you from childhood all the way to now. So I really feel like there's things in your life that you're needing to find a sense of calm or peace in, one way or the other, whether there's a sense of resolution, or it's you choosing to walk away, or you choosing to step up and say something. But I'll go ahead and pass it over to Journey.
All right. So when you said about the emerald green, that renewal, a balance came to mind, and being on a bed, trying when we go to sleep, that's when we find our balance. So it makes a lot of sense as to why the bed was emerald green. So, and the heart chakra, having troubles with love. I don't think it's love that the trouble is. The trouble is with trusting. You have that trusting issue that is taking a big part. So let's dive into that, because in the first part of the dream, you're talking about laying in the bed. It's emerald green, so you're needing that balance. Your heart chakra is blocked. That means you need to open it up. What you need to do is open up trust to yourself. So we're going into the snakes. Snakes are definitely fear. The one split into two. So, meaning for me in this dream is that there was one snake. Now there are two snakes. And the reason there is because a new anxiety has appeared, something new that's bothering you. So now here you are, things were already, you already felt anxious, and it being Adam that has his back to you, meaning you don't feel like he's hearing you, that you now have another anxiety to go along with the one that already existed. But it branches from the same exact anxiety. So the only thing that's happened here is your anxiety has doubled. So it's giving you more to worry about. So your anxieties are bleeding into your dreams, which is trying to create balance for you, but you're needing why Adam's back was turned to you is that you're needing to learn how to do these on your own. Rather than constantly looking for help or constantly trying to get people's attention, you need to be able to handle some of these anxieties for yourself. Let yourself know this is an anxiety. This is something that I can trust myself with. I cannot allow these anxieties to control me. I cannot allow these anxieties to keep me bedlocked so I can't go anywhere. And the bed's also, you being on that bed is also you not being able to go anywhere or do anything. She goes, it was a giant snake too. Ah, well, that just shows you how big the anxiety is. And then it got split into two. So it wasn't just one big snake, it ended up becoming two different problems. So two different fears developed out of the one anxiety that you had. So, you're seeing this and you've watched it double now. And had you probably been in that dream longer, for that amount of anxiety that you were having, it would have split into threes and fours until it continues to consume the area in which you're in. You not stepping off the bed for the fear that the snake was going to get you, you reaching out or trying to reach out, and you had no voice to be able to get Adam's attention. The dream is talking about doing some things on your own, like getting past some of these anxieties, meaning not to drag Adam into them, even though it's okay to communicate about things. But this to me feels more along the lines of, you know, someone that he may have been connected to that you have recently saw, and that causes problems. So all of a sudden you're having these dreams about someone he may have been in connection with you don't trust, and that's causing these dreams, and it's leading into other areas. Like now you're like, well, what about this? What? So even in your dream you're in what if land, and what if land is a very toxic place to be in. You do not want to continue to keep living in what if land because it will turn into more anxieties, which will bleed into your waking life, which will take you down a very dark road. So you don't want to go that direction. So what I can tell you about that is that come to terms with the things that you can come to terms with. Take control of the things that you can take control of. And what you can't take control of, that is when you use that voice. Kay was talking about you speaking on certain things that you don't feel like you have control over. Well, there are ways to have or gain control, but if you don't speak up, you're not going to be able to gain that control. And it's just going to turn into more anxieties, which is going to have you fear locked in your own dreams because you're trying to find a way to overcome it. But if you can't overcome it in your dreams, you're still not going to overcome it in your waking life. So allow yourself to speak up when you get the opportunity. But this really comes from situations happening in your life. You may not have liked them that caused an anxiety, which caused a fear, which split into two. And it's kind of going to keep going that direction if you don't take care of it. That seems to be a big thing happening for you. She goes, I have fear of getting out of bed as I am still recovering and weak and only allowed out of bed for 10 minutes a day, which I think has came out in it. I don't believe that I get that you see that representation, but it's not what is happening. You need to look at the bed as your anxiety. And from what came out underneath there is the fears. So your anxieties are keeping you bedbound in your dreams. Medical may keep you bedbound in your waking life, but in your dreams, that was your anxieties. Because you, believe it or not, you feel comfort in those anxieties because they've always been there. It's something that's familiar to you. And she says, I worry out of the future of the relationship. Right. But that's you see that Adam's back is turned to you, which is telling you not only do you have to overcome your fears, because Adam is not going to give you a reason to fear the relationship. The fears come from you, they're stemming from you. He's giving you no reason for you not to trust him. So allow yourself to get past those fears so it doesn't interrupt or interfere with your relationship, because that's what snakes like to do. They like to mingle, they like to fear you. They've got that poison. Do not bleed poison into your relationship based off of your own fears. If you can overcome those fears, those snakes will disappear. They will die, they will do something in your dream, they will disappear. All right, so the next part is that you dreamt that you were back at school, sitting at a table to do an exam. This is a lot of, to me, this flows back to your parents being controlling and not allowing you to have this opportunity to, you know, not to be able to speak, to not know what you're supposed to be doing. It's like you know what you want to do, but they keep telling you you can't do it. You keep being met with no. And so when you look at this paper, there's nothing on it because the answers that you're trying to process, the exam that you're supposed to write with is, or to understand, is being erased from you because you are not allowing yourself to live for you. You are living for everybody else. As you're like, I'm grown. I'm not a student. I'm not a kid. You're right. You're not. But you're being treated as such. And that is how you are feeling. So your emotions are playing a part as to why is everybody treating me like a child? I'm not a child. I'm a grown adult. And that has a lot to do with, your situation currently. When people are here to help you, it's taking away that independence. It's taking away that what feels like your adulthood, the things that you would do on a regular basis. It's being taken away from you. And she put, my parents have annoyed me a lot lately, so it makes sense. Right. So you're not getting a chance to speak your voice. You're not getting the chance to be yourself. You're not getting a chance to adult. You're kind of being trapped in your bed. It kind of feels like the Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory family, sitting in beds, not being able to go anywhere, being taken care of. So what you would do isn't being a, you're being treated as a child. So what you would do is not happening, and what they want to happen, what's going on, and then they're being the quiz master 4000 and asking you so many questions about everything going on in your life. You don't feel comfortable saying it, hence the reason the pen was missing, because that is not information you want to talk about. See, there are certain things you need to overcome, and then there are certain things that you need to speak out about. And there are certain things you want to keep to yourself, but you feel like you're being treated like a child. Speak up on the part where you feel like you're being treated like a child. Take care of the anxieties that don't, so they don't bleed into your relationship, and speak up when you're needed. These are a lot of things that Kay already touched base on, but I wanted to give you my interpretation of that because, I mean, come on. Kay and I are like twinsies when it comes to
Can't
this.
help it.
I mean, when we first did our first dream interpretation together, and this was offline. This was offline. We weren't even online when we did it. We were like, oh, yeah, we're doing a dream show together.
That's great.
And she says, my mom is constantly arguing against med advice. She knows best. See, that's what I'm talking about. You're being controlled as if you were a child. It's like, how dare you take 2 Advil? You should only take 1, like, or Tylenol or whatever. You know, I I'm being prescribed a medication to take at a certain level. I should be following that doctor's orders. I know you think you know best, but take control of those little simple things. Even with the medication, causes that annoyance,
Yeah.
and so it's lingering. And she put, yes, exactly. It's just that annoyance. So those are things you can speak up on. Don't talk about your personal life. I don't feel like they'll be matched with good intention. I mean, good intentions on their part, but you are not going to see it as a good intention. You're going to be like, um, so don't allow that to interfere. Speak up when you can. Take care of the things that you should take care of without involving other parties, and you know, keep certain things to yourself. But you can overcome those fears. She put, "Thank you both. You are so welcome." Absolutely. All right. Love, love, love it, guys. Make sure you guys are giving us a thumbs up, sharing us out, get us out there far and wide. We love doing these dream interpretations for you guys. We've got a lot more to get to, so we're gonna go ahead and hop into the next one. The next one is very detailed. So guys, when we talk
Fun.
about those detailed dreams, this is the example. All right, guys. And Gemma, you provided us some great information. We appreciate that too. Gemma's always got some interest. I love looking at Gemma's dreams because I never know what century we're going to be in.
I know that is fun.
I love that. That's the fun part of your mind.
I actually thought about her whenever that part of the females came up, and it was like the females are very specific about the indoor decor and the clothing, and I thought that was I thought of her and Emma actually.
Yes, yes, and she put. Ha, love that. I love the. I love looking at dreams because not only does it give you an idea of what's going on in their regular life, but it also gives you an idea of who the person is, how
Yeah.
they in the world. So it's beautiful, and I can sometimes just getting a dream interpretation, I can get more information out of that about their lives than I can
Then I
from
can't. Yep.
doing a reading because they put their spin on it instead of when a dream provides you information, there is no spin.
The thing I love with dream interpretations, right, is I don't often have people argue with me on it. Instead, they're just like, whoa, or, whoa.
Exactly. They're like, how the hell did you get that out of that? All right. We are jumping into the next dream. Here we go, guys. Here we go. All right. Emma Rose says, "Good evening. Had a really wild and crazy dream a few years ago where my family and I were getting on American airline flight at 10 a.m. to Dallas, Texas to go and visit my mother's coworker. I'm on the plane and curled up in um, a red maroon fuzzy blanket. I was wearing chestnut colored Uggs, Calvin Klein sweatpants, and a black hat that says totally extra." This is sounding extra. So she goes, "On it in white letters." I love the totally extra part. That just makes me smile. Because there's nothing wrong with being extra. All right. Emma says, "And I was also wearing a scoop neck, white ribbed tank top. My nails were acrylic painted style French manicure. It was super bright and sunny as well. Looking out the passenger window. As the sun continued to shine through the window, I continued to scroll through Instagram on my phone, and I also played Candy Crush for a little while too before we landed in Dallas. As soon as we landed, I then get a sparkling silver carry-on suitcase from above my seat, and as I chewed a piece of spearmint bubble gum, my family and I made our way off the aircraft and through the gate. As as we all then take a black rental car to the Hampton Inn in a suburban called Anatole. I hope I said that right. Which isn't too far from Dallas at all. It is mid afternoon. We eagerly made our way up to the second floor where our suite was. We dropped our luggage into the floor. My mom and dad told my siblings and I to go to water park at our hotel. My brother and I went down a blue water slide, but I wasn't underwhelmed. But I was underwhelmed by how boring the water slide was. My two siblings and I went down the lazy river. My parents then come outside. Um, they tell me, my siblings and I, that we are going to Six Flags in Dallas for the evening to spend some time as a family. As we are sitting at one of the restaurants at the Six Flags park, this guy that looks almost identical to my current boyfriend walks up to me and offers to pay for my entire dinner bill for my entire family. His father, who was very talkative and outgoing person, then walks over to the table and tells my mother, "My son thinks your daughter is incredibly attractive and he fancies her." He said it was a huge smile on his face. My mother looked at him, replied, "Thank you." The guy's mother walked over. Keep in mind, she is much more quiet and a reserved person. His mother smiled. He told his dad, who is that guy approaching my mom?" He's that he really thought I was beautiful and worthwhile. Him and his parents convinced us to spend time together. Then the guy, then the then I asked the guy what his name. All I remember is that it began with an H. H's parents then convinced my parents to get a drink and dinner at the hotel restaurant while H and I got pizza. As H and I drive to the pizza place to pick up our order, the walls were very colorful and with a graffiti urban vibe to them. The cheese pizza was massive. H and I drive back to the hotel, and we were both met by my two siblings, all of H's little cousins who were younger than both my siblings in the hotel room. They were playing Call of Duty and watching Cartoon Network together. That's cute. We placed the pizza on the table near the couch. H asked me to light a gold cigarette for him. H and I continued to talk about getting to know each other. But the funny thing is, he is almost identical to who my boyfriend actually is. I'm not too sure if it was my current boyfriend visiting me in the dream. The following morning, H's dad convinces all of us to go to the luxury golf club and that they have a membership at. My mom was so pissed to hear that she had to play golf. Laugh out loud. We arrived at the country club. H, myself, and my siblings, and H's little cousins, and all started to be a little too wild and crazy in the country club pool. The lifeguard got extremely mad at all of us when we all got out of the pool, and we got the news that my mother won a game of golf. She took an extreme amount of pride in it. Then, as nightfall came, we watched a beautiful fireworks show, and we watched a beautiful fireworks show that the golf club put on, and we drove back to the hotel. Then we woke up. She says, another thing, I looked up these places to see if they were real, and just so happens to turn out to be actual places in real life. Wow. Okay. There's a lot going on in this stream. So I'm going to tell you right now that I don't see the connection of your boyfriend seeing you in your like going to visit you in your dreams. So I do feel like there is some psychic play here. So I don't feel like it came from him, but it came from you, almost in a way where you wanted to imagine a world where your family got along with you. You guys had a great time. I'm feeling that you are missing that that sense of family or the sense of family that you expect or want. So to me, this is more about wanting these things in your life, even back then, you wanting that, having that person that loves you and cares for you. She's just that, sure, that makes sense. So to me, you are projecting onto your dream. So your psychic ability is catching glimpses of someone who's got dark hair that looks like your boyfriend. And I don't know if you remember, Emma, but 2 or 3 years ago, I told you about the dark haired guy with olive complected skin. His nationality is Mexican. Yeah. So you should go back a couple years back on the YouTube channel and watch, because that this is coming to pass for you on that one. But the thing about it is that the energy that you had is a part of your heart was broken. Your mom plays a part. She goes, "That's wild that you know what my boyfriend looked like." Looks like, yeah. I mean, I get him, and I got him in that reading that we did about who you were going to be with, because it wasn't the person that you were particularly with at that time. So, but about this dream, that what's happening here is that your heart's broke. You're missing family. You want that loving family. You want that, even though your mom may be a little bit aggravating or a butthole sometimes, that she may do something that she thinks that she doesn't like, but she's really good at it. And you want that love from your mom. You want that love from your siblings. You want that love from your dad, but you also want your boyfriend's family and your family to come together and to have these, to make these types of memories. So, what I get here is that you're trying, when you did have this dream, psychically you picked up on things that were real. But the other thing is that subconsciously you were picking up on things that you were trying to heal within you. So things that aren't happening, because there is chaos in your family. There is a lot of mistrust. There's a lot of negativity. So what you were doing is giving yourself some love and picturing the ideal way that you wish things would be, the way that you want things to be. You've been hurt. And so for you to have this dream years prior, to bring it up today to get an understanding, yeah, you played a psychic part in there. I wish to say that he was the one that came to visit you, but that's not what was happening. It was the you going to him and picking up these images. So it happens when we are developing our gift. Those our gifts happen in our dreams because it's easier for us in our sleep state than it is our waking state. She goes, yeah, I agree that my family and his family actually getting along is forever a fantasy, laugh out loud. But, the fantasy is not something that you're allowed to want that. You're allowed to want that. But just like this dream, give it time. It took a long time for parts of this dream to come to pass. And it'll be taking a little bit more time for it to go even further. Now, as for your guys' family to do like vacations together, that's not something I'm seeing with this dream. What I'm saying is that you'll get the chance to be able to be around his family and your family at the same time. What is a dream can be reality, but you got to be patient with it. To me, this is very heart wrenching, and I feel sorry that you had to create this. But something I want to point out in the dream: as you guys got on the plane, you ignored your family. You played on your phone. You stared out the window. You felt great, but you guys gave each other no interaction. But then there was the statement, we're going to spend time together as a family at Six Flags. But what happened? You didn't go to Six Flags. You ended up going to a country club and spending time with your siblings rather than your parents. You know, then you were, the lifeguard was telling you, no, stop, getting angry and mad with you. These are the types of things that you are being met with in your waking life now, is that you're being told no, you're being told stop, this is not real, don't do that. So you're getting those signals even back then, and they're playing a part in your life today. So if I were you, I would find a way to try to control what you can and let go of what you can't. You're not going to be able to please everybody. And I know you want to. And I know that with time, the relationship between his family and your family will develop. It's going to take time, but it's going to take restraint on your part. You're going to have to hold back a while before you make those. Don't force things to happen because they will become toxic and it will really throw off your relationship. So, you paying attention to detail, you know that study that Kay was talking about how you were able to pick out what type of clothes it was, the direction you were going in, the area you were going in. These are the types of things that these dreams, point out. Emma says, I was programmed to please everyone but myself. And see, even your subconscious is still trying to do that, but what you know is wrong, you shouldn't do that. Okay? Don't please everybody. Start holding back some of that energy of pleasing everybody else. Focus on your relationship with who you're with so it doesn't cause a problem or a rift and, destroy the relationship. I would hate to see that happen. But I'm not going to sit here and talk all day. I am going to give Kay some time with this. So, Kay, what are you picking up?
So I agree with the things that you said. I want to kind of focus on the other parts of the dream that stood out to me, which was how you want to be seen. There's a lot here of wanting to present yourself in the best light and wanting people to see you and to appreciate you and to like you and to give you that attention and affection, right? Having someone who doesn't even know you, right, come up and say how beautiful you are and how attractive their son is and how the family was all like into you and things like that. It's like there's this need or desire for acceptance in your life that you may not be getting. And considering the way that your family dynamic is, it is clear that you're not getting that love and getting that affection and getting that approval and that acknowledgement, right? And so in others, you are hoping that they're able to visualize you in that way. This again plays upon very much so on that study as well, right? How women are having the emotional attachment in their dreams, right? Not just the mental aspect or the business side of things. Actually they're attached to these emotions. I love the part here where he was saying, how your fantasy, your ideal, right, your desire is for your families to get along, but even in that you can feel where there's that disconnect in that as well. It'll only be to such an extent despite that desire that you have for it to go a little bit more. um, the fact that you traveled in all of these different places, you went to several different places, which to me expels time. So this isn't something that was just, oh, we got together for this one thing. You guys were doing several different events and you had comfort. You had built a comfort zone. You guys were eating pizza. You guys were having an intimate moment here with the movie and, in the room together. And being able to relax and let your hair down and be yourself. It was like kind of formulated in this dream world your own safety net, your own comfort zone around the people who you seek to have that relationship with or even have those ties to. I notice your boyfriend is one that follows you a lot with your dreams as well. And I feel like that is your comfort zone. That's your person who you feel like you can rely on a little bit more. Um, I feel like with a lot of your dreams, there's so much here of being seen and being heard. And I think so much in your present life, you may need to be seen or maybe need to be heard in a different way. Sometimes people can't see that same vision that you have, so you have to make them see it, right? Um, Now, choosing to accept however they choose to accept it is a whole different thing. But you can pave your own way. You can make some of your decisions. You can detach in a way like you did when you got on your phone and you were on a plane and you were distracted yourself with the games despite them all being around. They were there, but they were contained. All right. So I think there's so much here in the power dynamics with you and your relationships, you being able to kind of be free and open and in yourself. I noticed too in your dreams, you travel a lot. I feel like you're not meant to be boxed in wherever you're at. You are meant to have a brighter light and be able to go different places and do different things. Feel like this is we're going to go back to this quote I used last week was need to live your life and don't let life live you, right? So if there's some things you may want to change in your waking life, then I think that it may be time, especially considering you're holding on to these dreams from years ago and you're remembering such adequate detail to these certain things that these things are affecting you. I feel like there's so much more to come for you, but I think you've got to get out of this bubble and this shell of which you were probably taught, and those limitations that were learned and also self-imposed. That way, you can reach the true potential that you're trying to get to in your life. So, Emma, I want to say just kind of keep pushing, learn who your people are, learn what your comforts are, and set yourself up your own support system, set yourself up your own safety zone that you can kind of crash at when you need to. I notice there's always that layer of comfort that comes in your dreams. Emma says, you and my life coach agree on that for sure. I need to travel and explore. Yeah. Yeah. Take the time. YOLO, if you will. She says, create my own family. I've created my own family. So, who makes these rules? No one. Hey, I hope that helps, Emma. Thank you so much for your beautiful dream.
Absolutely. So much detail, so much passion in
Yeah.
that. Um, to me, finding a way to comfort in a way of feeling PTSD. And that's something I wanted to say because it feels like PTSD. Feeling the childhood wasn't great growing
Mhm.
up. There was these families that family that she would want, and she was dreaming of that family to provide comfort to herself. And
I'm
she said,
curious if she has sunsets, if she has a lot of sunsets or sunrises in her dream, orange, yellow, red
mm,
colors.
that protection.
Yeah.
And this one, it was midday. Remember, it was
Yeah.
midday, surrounded by the yellow light.
Yeah. It's
There was
a lot of
nothing
power
getting
colors.
in. Nothing was getting into that dream. Nothing was getting in.
Some layers, Emma. You got layers.
Peel those layers off. And she says, thank you guys for your beautiful readings. You are so welcome, sweetheart. I know that our hearts do bleed and our subconscious tries to create comfort for us to help us, understand. And in this way, you were trying to process. It happens.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, we've got more. And Cassidy says, Um, I have a question for both of you. You both, are you are your interpretations more intuitive reads, or do you work with symbolism? Loving the show. So I have to say, for myself, it's both.
That's what I was going to say. It's both.
It's a little bit of both because when you start seeing the symbolism, or when somebody starts communicating about the symbolism, with that symbolism comes emotion, comes images, comes pictures. Just like anybody who is looking at things intuitively, there is more to it, and then it attaches to their real life, what's happening in their waking world. So that's how I pick it up. But I
I
always,
concur. That's the same for me. I figure this, a dream is like a story, right? And we could, five of us, you could tell the same story to. Cassie says there are always those few lines in dream books, but you two are so detailed. Yeah. What's a dream book? No, no, we
I
use
mean,
them. We like dream books, but
I
there's
love
more to
dream
them.
books, but not everything is going to like. So let's say you look at a raven. A raven's not going to be the same for each person.
Yeah, we different.
Ravens mean different things for different people. So when this person talks about their raven in their dream and then completes what they're communicating about what happened in their dream, it gives us a better understanding of where that raven is, who that raven was, what that raven was. That raven a messenger? Was that raven a spirit? Was that raven warning them of something? What was the raven? By the telling the dream, it gives us a sense, or at least gives me a sense, and the images come flooding in, the information starts pouring in. And sometimes it can take, Even listening to certain dreams can make me step back and go, whoa, that's emotional. Very.
Yeah.
The empath side of me, I'm like, don't let the cancer in.
I like always seeing the perspective people tell me their story or their dreams in. That tells me a lot.
It does. That too. Twinsies. All right. And Cassidy says this sounds similar to card reading versus this card means this. Exactly. Exactly. It's the same thing. A card may mean one thing by itself, but when it's with other cards, it takes on a different interpretation based off of how the reading and the question is going, wherever that's leading you to. It is going to change because it's the other perspective of the card. It still has the same meaning, just the way it's interpreted is different.
Oh, that goes back to what I was saying with like a story. You could tell five people a story. Five people will tell you that same story a different way. It's the same story, but what stands out to them will be a lot different. And so, yeah, you can have the same symbols in the dream, but they can most certainly mean different things for you.
Absolutely. And Cassidy says, makes a lot of sense. Thank you both for that. You are so welcome, Cassidy. All right, we've got a little bit of time. We're going to jump into one of these quick dreams here. So, okay, here you go.
Who do we got? We have Brooke. Brooke says, at first I was dreaming about really similar things over and over, me being at the same place, exes, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm noticing I'm having dreams about things I've been thinking about and then an outcome that's been happening in real life. Or that my spiritual gifts awakening or what is happening because it's been almost 20 years since I've had a dream that came true in my waking life. Well, yeah, there's definitely spiritual abilities to that. If you are having that's what we would call a prophetic dream, right? That's what I had, right? I a dream in past, so I see, I dream, and it happens. Um, what I would pay attention to specifically in that is what are these dreams focusing on? What are you noticing it's like, just dealing with certain specific people, certain specific situations? How is this like, what kind of dreams are kind of coming into fruition? Are they more good things? Are they more negative things? Because this can also kind of tell you on the dwelling of, what part of your spiritual gifts you're also adapting into. I would say this is a great time to find harmony in your third eye and most certainly your crown chakra. Get those aligned. Clear quartz, amethyst, sleep with it with your pillow, walk around with it. Those very vivid dreams, very vivid things that you're seeing. You may have clarity as to why you're seeing them because you don't ever just get a vision just to get it. There's always something a little bit more that can go to it. May not always be able to change something, but it may just be finding you or getting your intuition more in tune for certain things. She says it's just simply things happening the next day as of right now. Okay. So if you notice that you've been working a little bit more with your spiritual side, it's going to make a lot of sense that spirit's going to give you those messages to give you that confirmation. One thing that really stands out to me, though, that I notice when spirit starts to send me a lot of consecutive visions like that are like coming true. It could be as small as I was at this grocery store and seeing this lady buy this bread before she happened, like a deja vu moment, right? Um, but I may notice that there's something that I've been over here. Brooke says I've been learning tarot recently. So there you go. You're working on your spiritual abilities, but there may be something that you are trying to push past in your present life too, right? And your intuition may be telling you that you may be needing to go a different way. Mary Sella says, hello from the Sands family. Hello. Things that you may be trying to avoid over here, your intuition's knocking on. Your intuition's showing you, hey, I'm really keen. I'm here. I'm up to date. I'm showing you. I'm showing you. I'm showing you all these small things. So pay attention to those small things because it's probably trying to alert you of this big thing over here that you're trying to avoid. But you clearly have the answers to. Your intuition's strong, right? It's coming in your dream life. All right, I'll pass it over to Journey.
All right. So Prophetic dreams, absolutely. I totally agree with that. My suggestion to you is writing these things down. So, what happens when we start getting these types of dreams where the things are happening the next day? When you're awake, you're like, holy shit, it's deja vu. Right. You dreamt of this prior. You're going to have daydreams where things come true. You're going to know what the person's about to say. You know, so and so's about to walk around that corner. You know that someone's about to make big money. Someone's about to lose money. Someone's going to get hurt. Car accident's going to happen. All these things will start to come to you. What I suggest doing is writing these things down and start trusting in what you're getting and what you're seeing. Do not fight it. And then start, when you write these down, check off every time one of these things comes to pass. Now, know this: what you're going through currently is what's happening on a day-to-day basis, but it is getting you to trust your intuition. So what you need to do on getting that trust in your intuition, she put, I want to enhance my abilities. I'm starting to feel a lot more whole lately. Good. That's a good thing. That's a positive thing. So what's happening now is you're getting that day-to-day information. Soon it's going to go from week to week, month to month, to year. You're going to start to see more. And then it's going to stop just being in your dreams, but it will be in your waking life too. And it will be at your call. So right now, yes, a lot of it is coming through using the tool of the tarot to help open you up, to keep the door open for you to provide that information. But your dreams, the door is open and you are accepting all the information being brought to you. You've been told all your life, oh, that's just that's superstition, or whatever. Some, because people don't want to see it. What people fear, what they don't understand. She says, I'm getting chills. This is so exciting. Good. Embrace it because it's going to get stronger with time. You don't want to rush it though, and you don't want to force anything. You want things to happen in their own way. Now, let's say you see something that may not be too quite nice. You may give a warning to certain things, or if it involves you, you can stop yourself from doing the thing that you know that causes the issue. But this is about starting to trust what you receive. And now that you're getting all these things to happen and you're feeling whole and you're working with your spiritual side of things, I'm going to suggest grounding. I'm going to suggest saltwater baths. I'm going to suggest meditation. Allow yourself these moments because this is going to help develop without chaos. Because with development can come chaos. If you do not control it, if you do not harness the energy the right way, it will get messy. And nobody wants to be in a messy house. So allow yourself to have control, trust what you're receiving, because these are going to grow past your wake into your waking life, where this information comes to you without asking, because you are aware, you are awake. So that's what I'm got for you. But these are definitely prophetic dreams. I'm looking forward to seeing your development when it comes to this. I have noticed you working a little bit more with your tarot. And she says, this information is what I needed. I wanted to enhance my abilities with as much control as possible. Absolutely. Write that stuff down. Write it down. Watch it unfold and be like, look at all these things that came to pass. Be proud of it. Trust it and trust yourself. Because you're not going to lie to you. You're going to know if you're forcing something. You're going to know if you're wanting it to happen versus this is going to happen. You can try to lie to yourself all you want, but deep down inside, you know. You know. She says, I love you both. Thank you for your time and energy. Absolutely, sweetheart. Absolutely. All right, guys. We have run out of time. We're already past the 1 hour. We're, again, 5 minutes over every show. Every dream show. This is an hour and 5 minute show, guys. It has been declared. This is what we do here. All right, guys. This has been beautiful. I love all the dreams, guys. Keep dreaming. Keep writing them in those journals and bring them to us. We will help you interpret what we get from it and help you understand how that attaches itself in your guys' waking life. All right.
We'll see you in Dreamland.
All right, see you guys in Dreamland because that's where I'm about to head myself. Have a great night, everybody, and we will see you guys next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. But don't forget, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be here with Cassidy the Card Slinger. So, guys, tune in for that. Get amazing tarot reads. She's absolutely wonderful, and you never want to miss a show with Cassidy. All right, guys, have a great night. We'll see you guys next Wednesday, 10 p.m. Have a good one.